All right. This is the return of the Crippled Kitchen special episode. All right. Got a guest with me today. It's going to help me cook up a meal. Got James Patton.
Hey guys.
Friend of mine for a long time. He's pretty good in the kitchen too. Today we're going to get a little smoky. We're going to do some smoked chicken, smoked mac and cheese. And what are you doing?
Parmesan horseradish mashed potatoes.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited. I've never had that. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going double starch today. We're fat guys.
Get it in. We don't cook healthy. We just cook good.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? All right. Well, we're going to get everything ready. We'll be back. We'll get the show on the road. There we go. We are out here now. JP has got the chicken rubbed. Putting it in the smoker.
Hold the wings off for later.
All right. Take about 2 hours in there, you think?
Yeah,
Sir?
maybe hour and a half, 2 hours.
And then we should be ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let that go for a little bit, and then we'll get the mac and cheese ready to be put in there. And get the mashed potatoes going. I'm excited, guys. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. Chicken's in the smoker. It's smelling good. We got about an hour or so to go on that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get my sauce ready for my mac and cheese. We'll start with a basic roux for that, and that's going to be your base for any white sauce. Just any white sauce. You're going to start with simple butter or oil. Equal parts butter and flour. So break it down. It's one tablespoon butter, 1 tablespoon of flour, and then a cup of milk. Or you can use half and half. Since we're using the smoker, I want the sauce to be a little runnier, so I'm going to cut back the flour a little bit. I'm using regular milk. Otherwise, I would use like a half and half, which is just half cream, half milk. So get started here. We're going to throw our butter right in the pan. Let it get melted up, and then we'll gradually add the butter or the flour right to that as it melts. Trusty whisk here. Now keep this at about a medium to medium high heat, and until I get it going here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, that's all good melted there. So I doubled it, so I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. Like I said, I'm going to cut back just a little bit because I want my sauce to be just a little bit runnier this time, because it's going to evaporate in the smoker. So put one in there and get that good mixed up. You don't want to go all at one time. You'll end up too many clumps. That's good there. So we'll get about a half a tablespoon more. Dump that right in there. Safety
That was my
first.
fault. I got in his way.
Safety first. Yeah. Get that going good. Notice how there's no clumps, no flour in there. It's all evening out. So now we're going to add our first cup of milk. That into it. Right here. There you go. Look at this. Multitasking cameraman's measuring milk.
It's a little more, so you can
Yeah.
dump it all in there. I didn't measure very well.
That's alright. Remember, we want it a little runnier anyway. Go about there. Get that going. I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit here until you start to just get a rolling boil. Let this get in here good mixed up. Notice how it's real smooth. Don't have any flour clumps in there, so you're not going to have a lumpy sauce. And once you get this going and it starts to get to a little boil, turn the heat down to simmer. And that's how you get it to cook in. Now we're not trying to cook any flavors into this yet, or right now, because I didn't add any salt, pepper, or anything. This is just the simple base to my sauce. But that's how easy this dish is going to be. We get this together, and then we'll just dump this into the pan with the noodles and then the cheese, and then right into the smoker it'll go. So yeah, we're back with another episode. It's kind of cool having free hands, have somebody on the camera and somebody helping me cook. That's really nice. Haven't done an episode in a while.
It's gonna be a great meal. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And James has a fully functional working kitchen, unlike me, so I'm not limited here. We can cook whatever we can come up with. And that's the thing I wanted to touch on while I have James here with me. We had a friend the other night say something to him about how he wasn't as good a cook as James is. And he says, no, man, I'm not better. I'm just more experienced. And that's the thing, especially with this day and age of the internet. Once you get a simple grasp of cooking and how things work, anybody can look up a recipe and follow a recipe. The most important skill you need in the kitchen is patience.
And and him touching on that, I'm just gonna say I'm in the background here. Me saying, no, it's fine, it's fine.
Give me this camera.
Just saying, if I am saying that I'm more experienced, once again, I'm not better, but don't hesitate to ask me questions at all. I'm free to share my education and my knowledge of this because I love it and I want everybody to be great at it, because who doesn't love food and who isn't happy with good food? So,
Exactly.
that's, you can learn something, just educate yourself, folks, one way or another. But, if you have somebody that really knows, what they're doing, ask them, drill them, you know what I mean? If they're really that in touch with the business, and whether the business or just, soul cooking in general, they will share their wealth with you.
Exactly. And this has been The More You Know.
Yes.
Brought to you by James Patton.
There should have been stars across there or something.
Yeah. Okay, the sauce is starting to thicken up a little bit as it heats up here. It isn't boiling quite yet. We're getting close though. But almost, you don't want it to get to a rapid boil either. As soon as you start to see the bubbles come up from boiling, not from the whisking. Those bubbles are just air bubbles from the whisking. As soon as it starts to bubble from the heat, is when you want to reduce that heat down to a simmer and then slow cook that for just a few minutes here, get it a little bit thicker. And then, like I said, that process after that is real simple. And then we're going to put it in there underneath the chicken. And here's the thing, we got the chicken right on these top racks. I'm going to put this right underneath it. I'm not going to cover it. I'm not going to do anything. We get some of them chicken droppings in there.
And the chicken is to the point where it's cooked enough that it won't harm anything.
Exactly. We got the chicken, salmonella is not an issue. That's cooked off. So them chicken droppings fall in there now. It's just going to add a little bit more flavor to the mac and cheese. Just another layer that I really didn't even have to work for, you know what I mean? We just got to set it in there and let the chicken do the work. We're getting there. They say a watched pot never boils. I find that to be inaccurate. But it can take a while. We're getting there, steaming. Yeah, I'm starting to see them. I'm going to give it just a few more seconds because I'm seeing them. The video's not going to see them quite yet. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right, put it in there. See in the middle here, you can see them starting to boil. That's the heat coming up through in the bottom. It's pushing this way out. You get to that. I'm going to give it another quick stir here. And I'm going to turn this heat way down to simmer. Just almost off. You just want to barely keep a little bit of heat on here. And let that slow cook. And I'm thinking it's probably going to take a good 3 to 5 minutes of slow cooking here to get to about the thickness we want it at. So we're going to let it do that and come back up here, James.
Back up to you.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and let that thicken up. We're going to sit down because we're both old. That's why it's Crippled Kitchen. Back's hurting. So we'll be back. You can cut it. Alright, we're back on Crippled Kitchen. Getting ready to put the roux and the mac and cheese. All I'm doing first is getting just a little bit on the bottom here, just so the noodles are not directly on the bottom of the pan. It don't have to be pretty.
When you make those lines straighter.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. There we go. Now, we got our noodles already pre-made. Just regular macaroni noodles. Now, I'm going to layer this in here so I get the cheese all the way through, so it's not just a layer of cheese melting down on top of it. So I get a good layer of noodles in here. And then cheese. And you can decide how much cheese you would like on it. I'm a firm believer that you can't have too much cheese. So layer them up. Another layer of noodles. There we go. Now before we put the last layer of cheese on, I will put the roux in so it can work its way down through all the noodles. Now, if we were just preparing this in the oven, I would cover it with foil and bake it at 420 because that's what I bake at for just a few minutes. But we're not putting it in the oven, so there's no need to put the foil covering on it. That, and it would keep the smoky flavor from getting into it, which would defeat our purpose of smoking the mac and cheese. And there we go. And then the final preparation. So I haven't added any seasonings to any of this yet. And before we put it in there, we'll be right back. We're going to do one light layer of coarse salt.
He said light, folks.
Yeah, light, but this isn't coming out good. I know it's shaking a lot, but it's coming out. Because I'm not trying to do this to flavor too much. I'm just trying to bring out the natural flavors just a bit. Of course, sea salt. Couple of twist, just a little bit. Just a garnish. That is it. This will go right in the smoker now, right underneath the chicken. And this is the first time I'm doing it in the smoker, so I'm guessing about 30-45 minutes in the smoker will be sufficient. But we'll keep an eye on it, and if we have to adjust, we'll adjust. All right, we'll show you a finished product when it's done. All right, guys, we're back. We got a late start. That's fine. We're not in a hurry. So potatoes done. He has drained them. He's putting stuff together here. So I'm gonna flip around, and I'm gonna let James take you through these horseradish mashed potatoes. And here we go.
Babe, grab me my mashed. So Folks, what I do is after they're boiled, I use Yukon Golds, skin on. That's just my preference. I think it's a way better product, way better potato than reds or anything else. And you don't have to peel your potatoes. So I do basically a quarter pound of butter. In this batch, I do a couple of the pats of it on the bottom just to get things mixed up a little bit, so it doesn't stick. It is. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bub.
So then, and by the way, I don't do mashed potatoes, I do smashed potatoes. So now, after the butter and a little bit of milk, I'm gonna add my horseradish. I had just about enough horseradish in there that I wanted to use, but waste not, want not. I use a little bit of milk. Can or jar, I'm sorry. I'll make sure I get all that horseradish out of it. Now for my seasonings, folks, I use a non-salted butter. That's my preference. You know, and a lot of people have to for, you know, diets and things like that. I'm just honestly not a salt fan unless it just brings out the natural flavor of the food. So here you go. 1, 2, 3. For salt. Here's another reason I'm not going to use a lot of salt in this as well. They are a Parmesan horseradish. There's a lot of sodium in Parmesan cheese. So you're going to get a lot of your salt flavor from your cheese that you don't need to add in. You know, so you just do it extra, you know, 2 tastes basically. We're doing some cracked black pepper. We're going to do white pepper, just a touch, nothing major. And we're going to do some ground black pepper. And I like pepper, especially in mashed potatoes.
Absolutely.
Like I said, once again, I'm not doing mashed, I'm doing smashed. I am using a hand smasher. So I cream it up, make sure it's creamy. Getting to the point where it's pretty much mixed up now, and I notice I don't have quite enough liquid in there. So I'm gonna add a little bit of milk, because I'm telling you, quarter pound of butter is plenty for this amount. Maybe add another half cup or so right there. And be careful if you're doing it like this, because if you just straight push down, it will come back in your face. You want it more stirred in first. And then you go back to mash it a little bit. Now, if you ever get to a point where you're doing a Parmesan potato, smashed or mashed, either one, and you feel like you got too much liquid in there, just add a little bit extra Parmesan cheese. It'll tighten it right up for you. But I'm feeling pretty good about that consistency right there. So now I'm gonna put my parm in. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. Put my parm in. Just gonna mix that in. And that's it. Turn the heat off. I am going to come up here and I'm going to just be, I guess, whatever I am. It's the wrong one. See if I can find one here. Yep, there's one. I have all kinds of open seasonings. I just like to add a little bit of dry parsley to it. I know that doesn't seem like a little bit, but it really is. Gives a nice little color to it. And then when we plate up, you'll see the final result of the Parmesan horseradish potatoes, the smoked chicken, and the smoked mac and cheese.
All right, guys, ready to pull everything out, get it together here. We'll be back with the finished product. We'll see you guys in a second. All right, we're back with the conclusion. It's been a process. We got a little late start, and you know, hey, we're not on any time limits, so you know, slow cooked.
And he got beat at dice a lot.
Well, I mean, he's bumped his head. He's confused, but you know, so. We smoked it at a lower temperature, so you know, it cooked longer and slower. It's juicier. So we'll put the camera down here. We'll get a shot of these plates with this, and I'm just going to turn it around. I'm going to do it this way. Just back over. Add that up there, venting because it's hot. Look at mashed potatoes. Things looking just absolutely scrumptious. Nice crust on the chicken, juicy inside.
One thing I like to do, I know you saw mine, but I like to take the ends of the scallion sheets, the white part, I like to cut them up on my horseradish mash.
Absolutely. A garnish. Turn this back around. Here we go. One of these days I'll get good camera equipment and this stuff will be a thing of the past. But until then, that's how we do it in the Crippled Kitchen. Alright, here we go. So I think we're going to save that chicken till last because it's still hotter than a son of a bitch, and it's burning. So I want to try these mashed potatoes first.
And I want to try his smoked mac and
so
cheese.
We're going to dig into this here.
Yep.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Layers of flavors in that. There's just so many.
Right, look. Melty, look, cheese.
Man. That's
nice little smoke.
Oh man. See the difference in our two sides. I haven't seasoned mine hardly at all. Very minimal. Because we're using the smoky flavor. There's a seasoning for that. And James with his potatoes. You get the parm. You get the peppers. You get the horseradish, just layer on top of layer on top of layer of flavor, and every bite of that, that's just absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to try my mac and cheese.
But when he says he didn't season his mac and cheese because we wanted the smoke flavor, that's what we were looking for. A little bit of salt, bring out that actual flavor. It's a very subtle smoke flavor, but you can definitely taste it. Absolutely. It's perfect for the palate.
Absolutely. You don't want...
Well,
you don't want your food
man. I'm telling you, like
just tastes like complete smoke.
Look,
you know,
there you go. Oh yeah,
it's just amazing. It's falling apart. We cooked it. You know, the chicken was still cooking on top of it, so then drippings just kind of there. Just added another little layer of flavor to the mac and cheese.
Hey, let's show them something about the chicken. Even though it's hot as hell to eat, show them something real quick. Watch, folks. Boom.
Falling right off the bones.
It's coming right apart.
Like super tender.
No effort.
It's super tender. I can't wait. It's smelling so good.
It's so hot.
That's the one thing video does not do justice. You guys don't know what it smells like in here.
Yeah, we still don't have smell-o-vision.
Yeah. Come on, Elon Musk, make that. Oh, that skin just crispy. And,
yep. Well, it's hard for me to get fat.
Man. That's amazing. It's juicy, flavorful. Oh. Absolutely. This is amazing. And it was relatively easy to make. Relatively easy to make. And it just comes out that good. Alright guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm about to bash.
Mike, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to thank James for coming on.
Anytime.
The return of the Crippled Kitchen. I've been away for a little while. But I'll be back a lot more often now. So, you guys, I want to thank you for sticking around and seeing this. So now we're going to get on to the bashing of the food. And then the editing of the videos. I can't talk. I need my medication. And you guys have been following me know what that is. Smokey. See you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks.